Good morning. Thank you for joining us for this combined September Shotsuki Hoyo and Labor Day weekend service. The body of my talk will mostly address Labor Day, but have no doubt the people whose names I'm about to read are September Shotsuki Hoyo list. These people are those to whom we dedicate this service. This is a group of very important people. If I may read the names on our Shotsuki Hoyo list for the month of September. Alita Ratsu, Fujimoto Hajime, Furumoto Yasu, Goto Choichi, Goto Kyoichi, Hamaguchi Hachizo, Hamano Kimi, Hayashi Kyoko, Higashioka Shigeru, Hirose Shigeru, Inoue Kaoru, Ito Frank, Kawamoto Kunitaro, Kawamoto Masano, Kawamoto Tazuko, Kawashima Fumi, Kobuke Yutaka, Kubo Kiyomasa, Kuramoto Kiku, Masumoto Hachitaro, Matsumoto Yaemon, Mintz Geraldine, Mito Shika, Mitsuoka George, Morioka Sarayo, Muraki Rikyo, Nagatani Shigeru, Naito Imakichi, Nishida Miki, Nishikawa Mutsue, Ogura Tomie, Okida Mariko, Okuno Matsu, Omura Seki, Onishi Kita, Onishi Yoshisuke, Otake Takeo, Oyama Maju, Oyama Mitomu, Sakamoto Isaburo, Soga Noriko, Sogi Atsue, Sugimoto Hatsujiro, Takayama Mito, Takayama Otomatsu, Takayama Tomi, Tanabe Violet, Teraoka Yumi, Teshima Isamu, Toimoto Itsuyo, Tsuchimoto Tsuneo, Tsuchiya Inosuke, Tsuchiya Tomizo, Ueno Kimi, Wakasa Kiyozo, Yamada Sato, Yamada Yokutaro, Yamaoka Lai, Yamasaki Nao, Yamashita Kihei, Yamazoe Mine, Yokoyama Kiyomi, Yokoyama Sakae, Yujiri Tokuo. These are the people to whom our Shotsuki Hoyo service is dedicated. They have been of support to our temple. Those of you who were close to them, I'm sorry for your loss. We will proceed with the Sutra chanting, Juseige, and the reading of the three treasures, and try to sing Ondokusan with you. Namo Midabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Midabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Midabutsu. Namo Midabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Midabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Ndabutsu, Namo Midabutsu. Busetsu Daimuryo Jukyo Juseige Gagoncho Thegan Hishimu Jodo Shigan Humandoku Seifudyo Shogak Gao Muryoko Uidai Seishu Usai Sho Bingu Seifudyo Shogaku Gashijo Butendo Myoshoto Jippo Kukyo Mi Shomon Seifudyo Shogaku Ryokujin Shonen Joeshu Bongyo Shigumu Dyodo Isho Teninshi Shinariki and Daiko Ushomu Taido Shoujo San Kumyo Kotai Shu Yakunan Taihichi Eigen Meshi Kon Moan Hei Tokusho Akudo Tudaten Shumon Kosojo Mandoku Iyo Jippo Nishigaten Shujuki Tenko Onpugen Ishu Kai Hodo Koseku Dokuho Yo Odai Shuchu Seppo Shishiku Kuyo Itaya Button Kusokushu Tokuhon Banne Shitten Yoman Tokuhi Sangayo Yobutn Mugechi Tudaten Mi Husho Gangaku Eriki Toshi Sai Shoson Shiganya Koka Daisen no Kando Koku Sho Tenina To Chinmyo Ke Namanda Bu Namanda Bu Namanda Bu Namanda Bu Namanda Bu Namanda Bu Gani Shikudoku Yodo Sei Ithai Don Modai Shina Ojo On Ra Koku Namanda Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. So I believe I said I was going to do the devotional reading first. And that's going to be the three treasures. At home, you will find that on the screen, and if you're using the OCBC service book, it's page 10. The three treasures. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter, but now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, you would do well to sing along with me for the Gatha Ondokusan, because otherwise you have to listen to me. So I'm going to go about on a count of three. I can't promise what's happening on your side, but this is Ondokusan II, and if you're using the OCBC service book, it's page 146. I'll go on what for me is a count of three. 1 and 2. Nyorai dai no ondoku wa miyoko ni shite mo hozu beshi shishu chishiki no ondoku mo hone o kurakite mo shasu beshi. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Well, good morning again, and thank you for observing and participating in this service on the internet. This is our internet version of the Shotsuki Hoyo service for September and for the Labor Day weekend. Those of you who lost someone in the month of September, I'm very sorry for your loss. It's the hardest thing in the world to let go of people we care about, even though we believe that letting go is temporary. There will be a reunion, a reuniting in oneness, a connection, but it is a terrible thing. I'm sorry for those who lost someone in the month of September. A month when children are going back to school, a month where college students are going off to their first year of college. So thank you for tuning in today and considering these Buddhist ideas, Buddhist values, these visions of what life truly is from a Buddhist perspective. Again, we come to you on Labor Day weekend. Now, on the internet this week, some self-pitying guy put up some images of galaxies from the Webb telescope, and his appended remark was, all these stars and all these planets, and I end up on one that has a 40-hour work week. Well, I reminded that fellow that before union organizing on this planet, the average work week was more like 60 to 70 hours a week. And for some people, even longer days, even longer work weeks. So I'm glad to be on a planet where there's only, the average work week for many of us is only 40 hours. You know, we have been benefited by others in important ways that we often take for granted. It's been almost 2 months since our 4th of July service, since we celebrated 4th of July. And every year around the 4th of July, I make a point of being grateful to our founding fathers, the founding fathers of our nation. Now, sure, 9 out of 10 of them were slaveholders, and there was no thought given to allowing women to participate in the leadership of our country back then. The founding fathers of our democracy were flawed individuals, but they kicked this representative democracy thing up quite a few notches, so I am indebted to them. I owe them. I owe the founding fathers. Now, Labor Day weekend and all, I can't help but reflect that I've never actually worked in a union. I've never worked anywhere that was unionized. But I was hired to jobs in non-union places with the expectation of like a 40-hour work week, and that is only because organized labor kicked the work week down that far. The work week used to be more than twice as long for a lot of people. So I'm indebted to organized labor, even though I've never been in a union. It was back in 1882 that one or another Irish American, there were two guys involved, similar names, Peter McGuire and Matthew Maguire, and they were involved in getting a movement going to set aside a holiday for labor. And it's 1882, it took 12 years. In 1894, Labor Day holiday was established, the first Monday in September. Now these days, references to Labor Day may well bring up images of youth frolicking. This is not necessarily inappropriate, as I believe most of the leaders of the labor movement were pro-frolic, in favor of frolicking. But the reason so many youth frolic on Labor Day weekend is that people have risked their lives or lost them insisting that working people get holidays, insisting that working people have a livable wage, insisting that their children can go to college. Because people have risked their lives or lost them, insisting that the children of the working class can go to the beach on Labor Day or attend the Junior YBA conference, which was yesterday for you. And I would like to thank the Orange County Buddhist Church and Bishop Marvin Harada for their efforts in that important, fun, yearly event, the Junior Young Buddhist Association Conference. Yesterday, as you count. We're recording this a little earlier. We are the Nishiyonganji School of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, also referred to as Honganji Ha. Nobody knows how many of us there are, but at the peak there were about probably 15 to 20 million Nishi and about as many Higashi, so about 30, 35 million of us at one time. I'm suspecting we're somewhat smaller in numbers now, but the Jodo Shinshu School of Buddhism is about 800 years old. We're going to celebrate our 800th birthday next year. And all schools of Buddhism share many central values. We all share many central values, including kindness, generosity, sharing, gentility. These are important values for all Buddhists. Generosity is crucial for all of us. However, Buddhism is not monolithic. All Buddhists are not the same. All schools of Buddhism are not exactly the same. We all extol the virtue of generosity. All Buddhists believe in sharing. Buddhists in our school believe in democracy. In fact, Nishiyonganji's legislative structure is one of the oldest democratically run institutions on earth. In the two big schools of Japanese Pure Land Mahayana Buddhism, Nishi and Higashi, our decision-making has been based on a legislature of elected representatives from various districts. And this democratic structure has been in place for almost 400 years. So we, Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, believe in democracy. But again, not all Buddhists are exactly the same. This is not a value espoused so clearly in Shingon Buddhism or the Tendai school or Rinzai Buddhism. Democracy is not necessarily a central tenet expressed by those schools. Our school of Buddhism, Nishihongan-ji, Jodo Shinshu, our school of Buddhism teaches that you should not put excessive trust in the teacher, in the priest or minister that you study with. By contrast, Dogen Zenji, the founder of Soto Zen Buddhism, in the Shobogenzu Zui Monki says, you should do exactly as your teacher tells you. That frees you. That way you're free of making decisions. Well, I've heard that approach to freedom before, Dogen, and it does not appeal to me. All Buddhists extol freedom as a virtue, but some, like Zen, think that by limiting and controlling you, you will then be able to be more free later. Much of monastic Buddhism has this same, do exactly as I tell you now so you can become free later approach. Our school, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, and our sister school, Jodo Shu, begin and end in freedom. Both of our denominations oppose class prejudice, oppose prejudice against the Burakumin. It's a group of people who originally their occupation had something to do with taking animal life, most of them. So it'd be butchers, shoe salesmen? And so we do things, our denomination, Jodo Shu, our sister denomination, Jodo Shu, and we, Jodo Shinshu, will do things like go talk to a bank, send somebody to a bank when they're not giving out a loan. And there are things like a shoe store will have done quite well, and they want to open a second store. But banks won't lend them money because it's a shoe store, and that's immoral. Anyway, we come in and we advocate for these people, the Jodo Shinshu and the Jodo Shu, because we believe in equality. We don't believe in prejudice. We believe in democracy. Our schools begin and end in freedom. Like existentialists, Pure Land Buddhists begin and end with freedom. It is your choice whether to engage with this school of Buddhism or not. You aren't doomed to a hellish future if you choose not to follow our style of Buddhism. However, we are doomed to living meaningless lives if we take everything for granted. I don't take democracy for granted. Although I find many of the founding fathers of our nation to be disappointing in some ways, I'm still grateful to them. And they might find me a little disappointing too. I am grateful to Shinran for insisting that we entrust fundamentally to the Buddha Dharma and do not place our trust entirely in some teacher. I am grateful to Shinran's family, his descendants, for organizing this denomination democratically. I'm grateful to all of you for watching and participating in this service and Dharma talk. And I'm grateful to Eugene Debs and Joe Hill and the many leaders of the labor movement for the 40-hour work week, for the Labor Day holiday, for positive and inclusive change. Labor Day is about more than just frolicking on the beach, but being able to frolic on occasion is part of it. So again, thank you for participating in this service, and here on this Labor Day weekend, don't forget to frolic. Thank you. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu.